Well, back to our story of the Benue killings now. We have in the studio with us Tony Ofoyetan, a security expert, to give us his analysis of the security situation in Benue State. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you. What do we do with these renewed herdsmen killings?
I feel disappointed. We said this thing for years now, and this is a brand new year. Talking about the same thing all over again. The question is, what is new that I'm going to say that I've not said before? Or that any other security analyst would say now that we have not said before? Other than the fact that as far as some of us are concerned, the political will from the federal might is just not there. It's just not there at all. I don't see any reason why the government will be docile when some group of people are busy killing innocent people.
Indeed.
And the government is as if, all is well.
And the youth have actually come out to say that their anger is not actually at the Benue State governor, or government, but at the federal government. It's
both. As far as I'm concerned, it's both. It is just a escapist approach to say it is not directed at the governor. If the governor also have the capacity to curtail, I think it would be a different ball game entirely. Yes, why conceding to the fact that the governor has taken some steps talking about the anti-open grazing bill and all those stuff like that. But, it becomes really agitating when the governor have to be begging the federal government to say, please help us to implement a law that will save lives. And the federal government, as far as we are concerned, is seen as doing nothing about it, is careless about it. Now you see some group of people that arm themselves with cutlass and then gun. You seize it. You can't go to the forest and the bush and begin to pursue those that are going to attack them. I think that it is high time the security agency begin to even work with the youth in Benue State. The way they are working with civilian JTF in Boko Haram axis. Civilian JTF bear arms. They bear arms. Indeed, they bear arms in Nigeria, in the southeastern region. And it's always that they are facilitated and they are, coordinated and regulated by the military so that they don't misuse it. But they have their own local gun. They have their own local arms. And I think that it is high time the government, the security agencies, and especially the federal government began to think along that line.
This Tuesday attack was a reprisal one, which you and I know, will undoubtedly lead to another attack.
Of course it will.
So
it will.
We're looking at a vicious circle here.
Now, it's a vicious cycle to me that has been created by a vacuum of silence.
Silence by whom?
Yes, silence by the federal government. The vacuum of, this nonchalant attitude. And it is that nonchalance that the headsmen are exploiting. There's a threat there, there's a vulnerability there, rather, that the headsmen are doing what? They are exploiting. And it's leading to the death of people. And some of us have said this severally, that groups like Meeti Allah, as far as I'm concerned, by now, the federal government should descend on that group. By now, decisively. Well, you are talking of a group that find it convenient and easy to defend murderers. Indeed. Openly too. Without any pretense. And the government is quiet about it. For goodness sake, if you and I support armed robbery on this station and we give justification, before you know what's happening, SSS will invite you. SSS will invite you to come and explain if you are not a sponsor of, or you come out to support kidnapping and the like. Not to talk of people that are supporting
what I find them intriguing, the protesting students who protested against this attack by the herdsmen were themselves attacked, and then they even had 3 of them killed. Now, the police say they will try and apprehend those who actually did the killing. The question is, isn't it interesting that the police can apprehend these attackers and yet the protesting students and cannot go after the herdsmen?
Now, you see, there are many unanswered questions. And if you ask me, I am beginning to see the unfolding of an agenda. Now, the question is by who? I may not be able to tell you expressly, but I think the president should be able to answer that question. For me, if the president is not ready to bring peace to this region, he should resign. We cannot afford to be playing with the lives of human beings every now and then. And we have a president. To me, I don't see capacity in what is happening now at the federal level What is the capacity in it, for goodness sake? Human beings are dying almost on a daily basis, and there's no decisive decision. All we are busy doing is talking about newspaper propaganda, media propaganda. The next thing, the police will come, security agencies will come. We are doing something about it. Look, the problem is not with our security agency. Those guys are good enough to wipe out Boko Haram, to wipe out Fulani herdsmen within specified time. The only problem they have is that government directive. The political will for government to say, boys, move, wipe out. And that is all they need. Once they get that instruction, they will do what they ought to do. But if they do not get that instruction, they won't do it, because the type of job they are is a regimented profession. A regimented profession to the extent that if your boss do not ask you to move, you don't move. If they say, go and repress this insurrection, but don't shoot, you'll be shocked that they will get there, they will not shoot.
Let's hit the nail on the head now. Why is the federal government not giving them the exact directive they need? I
think it's President Muhammadu Buhari that can answer that question. And the Meyeti Allah. Because as far as I'm concerned, if this group of people are this bold, they have this effrontery, and they are able to go this far. Look, you are talking of a state, they have already passed an anti-grazing law already in existence, and you are able to stand up to say that the law will not work. I expect a responsible government to be able to say, look, the law is the law. Irrespective of whose or is God, it must be implemented. At what extent, when federal government wanted to put a check to the activities of IPOB, what happened? Today, IPOB is as good as, at least, momentarily gone.
Indeed.
For goodness sake, then if it is that same government we have in power, you should know that something is wrong somewhere. You are able to checkmate the activities of the Niger Delta Avengers. You are able to checkmate the activities of IPOB. You are not able to checkmate the activities of Fulani herdsmen. For goodness sake, there's something wrong somewhere.
Well, the protesting youths yesterday demanded that the president resigns. Tony Ofoyetan, security expert, thank you for joining me on TVC.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're watching the Midday News. We'll take a quick break now and return with more stories. Do stay with us.